Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the Local Battles Land Center in Fort Lee, New Jersey for the Power Overwhelming number 4 tournament. I'm your caster, Winnie, along with my good friend Eric the Red from the Rutgers CSL team.
What's up, dude?
Man, we're pretty deep in the brackets. This is a winner's semifinal between bbSiphonn and AGIANTSMURF. Two guys I thought would go very far in the tournament, very familiar with them from the semi-pro scene.
Absolutely,
and Pandora apparently giving Smurf a little bit of problems. Just so you guys know, you guys can follow Local Battles on their Twitter at Local Battles, and they have also announced their Power Overwhelming number 5 tournament.
Yep, gonna be August, right?
August 5th. Yeah. That's a Sunday as well, and they're hoping to see a good show for that. Prize pool is yet to be announced, but I believe it should be pretty substantial.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty big one. I think Playham
is going to be here.
There,
yeah, so it's always good to have Playham guys. And we're just waiting to go. And first map will be Metropolis. Will be PvP. Wow. We haven't done a PvP yet. All right.
No, we have not hit it yet, but I honestly am looking forward to it. We have 2 pretty high-level players here, and PvP on Metropolis, you don't see it a whole lot because it's not a ladder, but I've definitely played a few interesting PvPs here myself, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it can kind of lend itself to blink play. There's a small window where you can blink, and also blinking from the third into the natural.
Another thing that's good on this map is actually Phoenix. Oh, yeah, someone actually... What?
Okay, I don't... There they go. Oh. I think they got it.
So
close. Match is queued up, and quick shout out. I just want to say, cracked open one of these refreshing 28 black energy drinks.
These are delicious, by the way.
They're an all-natural energy drink, and they're actually quite tasty. I've never had something quite like it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting taste. You wouldn't necessarily expect, but it's very refreshing.
And, of course, here on Metropolis, we do have a AGIANTSMURF spawning as the blue Protoss. He's going to be on the 9 o'clock position. And spawning in the 12 o'clock position, we have bbSiphonn. Now, I don't know too much about Siphon's PvP. I know he's a pretty good PvTer from the tournaments I have casted him in.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about him yourself?
Unfortunately, no. I've not seen a whole lot of his games, but I mean, you have to imagine at his level of play, he's probably going to be comfortable with quite a few different styles of PvP, especially since PvP tends to be actually very map dependent.
It can be, and build order centric as well. You hear build order loss quite often in this matchup, and you got to think, okay, well, what do you mean? Oh, basically, my build order is better than your build order, and just hard counters it, and I wreck you.
Maybe not in the sense that you'll actually just die, but you may actually wind up with
you'll come out with a much larger advantage than you would normally. And that tends to be around idiomatic builds. Phoenix play sometimes is easily hard countered by DT play.
Well, it can be. Again, it all has to do with the reads that players make early on. If you read that somebody has sentries out, you can kind of judge that DTs are going to be a little ways off.
And you can actually see that Siphonn went for a 13 gate. Smurf actually went for a 12 gate, but surprisingly they're just about even on time.
AGIANTSMURF not scouting either. I know that not scouting is kind of the hot new thing to do in PvP.
Is it? I haven't played too much PvP on ladder lately.
At the high level, people are oftentimes just refusing to scout, and it's not a bad thing at all. Actually, he may just go for a later scout, delaying that until after the pylon, because if you do delay the scout and both players are going standard, you do wind up with a little significant econ lead. But again, even if the other person's doing something like a cheese, a proxy 2-gate, you at least need to check around the size of your base.
Yeah, and I think this lets you get out your Zealot a little bit quicker, which is also worth noting. You're going to be able to get out the defensive Zealot by getting, putting that second pylon down and then scouting.
Yeah, and he will be going for that first Zealot. Yeah. Whereas Siphonn, it looks like he may choose to skip it.
And that's not a bad thing on this map because it's a pretty narrow map, so Zealots are going to be not entirely useful.
And again, Siphonn has the advantage of having scouted first, so he can delay that Zealot in favor of the second gateway.
Yep, and actually with Gas Steel, I mean, how does Gas Steel's reacting? You're a Master's level Protoss. Do you see Gas Steel? Do you counter Gas Steel in turn, or you just kind of shift your build, or it doesn't really affect your build at all?
Gas Steel is really, really annoying for sure because, I mean, I guess in this case we're probably going to see AGIANTSMURF go for the more middle of the road response. Going for the counter gas fuel. So I think this just puts them on even footing pretty much. But AGIANTSMURF choosing to have that Zealot commit to breaking down the gas. The difference here though is that Siphonn doesn't have a Zealot of his own, so he's not going to be in a position where he can just take a second gas at a reasonable time. That's going to be a lot later for him, and honestly, in this situation, we're probably going to be seeing Siphonn go for some sort of 3 or maybe even 4-gate pressure.
Yeah, there's 2 gates out of Siphon here. Smurf only 1 gate right now. And is he really going to go for... Okay,
no.
There goes the...
Well, the major tell here is going to be the Chrono Boost. Both players able to see the first few Chrono Boosts when that assimilator is down, if it's going on the Nexus or somewhere else.
Yeah, you can see, if you're looking at Smurf's vision right now, you can see that he actually knows how much Chrono Boost is into that Nexus. And where is it going? If he sees, if not in the Nexus, okay, well, it's got to be going Gateway.
I mean, he's being smart about it. He's
core.
He's not revealing that he's chronoing the Nexus. He's not revealing that he's chronoing the Warp Gate. He's just saving it up, and that's really smart because you don't want to give him a tell. Right, and look, he's going for that fast expo, so he could have been chronoing his Nexus. He could have been chronoing out units, but he just chose to save that up just to make GiantSmurf a little bit apprehensive about moving out.
Yeah,
but he is going to be poking regardless. Maybe not a big committal here, but...
And Stalkers will engage here. 2 Stalkers versus 3, not going to be most advantageous.
Yeah.
Zealot will come in, and that actually helps quite a bit. Zealot's really good against Stalkers, so long as they're not being turned away. That Zealot will head on into the main. These other 2 Zealots will run away. 3 Zealots will give chase. Now that Zealot's going to get a scout out, he does see the expansion, and he's going to come in and see a lot more. You will see 2 a Robo and an additional Gateway going.
Oh, look, he's going to try to micro these probes really well if he doesn't want to lose any. Actually, he's, oh, look, perfect micro. You've got to move those probes back right as that second shot animation is being fired, or else you'll lose the probe. They do die very quickly to Zealots.
Yeah, Zealots, I think, are easily the best worker killers in the game.
Yeah, it's so hard to micro against them.
I mean, you can surround Marines, you can surround Lings relatively well, but individually, Zealots tend to be the most resilient.
It's because they do 2 attacks per hit, and the animation, actually, you can cut it off by pulling the probe in the right direction.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
You have to pull it exactly as that second attack starts, and you can get it out in time.
And you can see Smurf getting a pretty substantial army here. He has not expanded behind this. Is going for a 3-gate Robo, actually a 4-gate behind this. And an Observer's going to come out. I'm curious, there's going to be a Warp Prism. I think that might be the ticket to doing here. But it's actually a pretty bad position for Smurf. If this expansion starts to get a return, he does get double Chrono Boost out of it, and that's also worth noting.
That's true.
We'll push forward. 1 Force Whip will go down a couple units, and there's only an Immortal and 2
only 1 sentry there, too. And in this position, he needs to get some sentries out immediately to just start to make that choke point more relevant here. Otherwise, he's just going to get overrun. And that 1 Immortal is going to have to be focusing on the Stalkers, which it's not. It's actually firing on Zealots. So a little bit sloppy micro there by Siphon, rather. But now doing a good job kiting backwards. And the second Immortal out, I think he will hold this off just fine.
Yeah, the second Immortal does come out, helps out substantially. Zealots are still raining down onto the mineral line. That 1 Immortal is very, very weak. Is there any more weapons from Smurf? Yet they're going to work. He will focus down that Immortal. That's a great choice. Immortal's so good against Stalkers.
It's going to be just fine now for Siphon, I think.
50 damage a shot from those Immortals, man. That's pretty much, that's nearly like 1/3 of the...
Yeah, they will 3-shot the Stalker.
Yeah. Oh, 4-shot. 4-shot. But still, with, other unit support.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we'll pick up the Observer. That's actually a pretty good pick. That's going to deny Siphon vision. He has no idea what exactly Smurf could be doing out here. Is he retreating? Is he still there? Is he warping in? What is he warping in? Smurf back home can get in that warp.
Yeah, this is going to be a 1-base all-in by a GiantSmurf. Going to be doing probably an Immortal drop because, again, this main base is a bit far back from the natural, so trying to keep Siphon a little bit contained here. At the same time, though, he could... he is actually going... That's very interesting. Siphon going for... Oh, but look... 1 second here. This is a little bit tense in a situation.
Warp Prism going up. Now he sees it. Does warp in a few
but those sentries could get a force field off on the main base, and there's no way to get around that, but actually,
they will pull away. That was
too much stuff there. Good split by Siphon.
Siphon dealing that very, very well. You can see that second base, that Chrono Boost, man, all saved up. A lot of Chrono Boost saved up on the main Nexus as well. And GG out of GiantSmurf.
I mean, that's the thing. When you take a fast expansion like that and get your infrastructure about the same, you're going to be pretty much even in units after a while. So
it can be very, very difficult to respond to a very quick Nexus that you weren't prepared to put damage into. You don't have to snipe it, but at least to cause infrastructure damage or outright kill your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.